Well, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my personal life channel. In this video, I'm going to be continuing my playlist series on the question of when does a boy become a man. We're going to be looking at the first key point right after these messages. So when I started out this playlist, I wanted to pinpoint spiritual maturity. I'm not talking about chronological age. I'm not talking about what the world's pattern of when a boy becomes a man, but what the spiritual maturity of a boy that transitions into manhood. That's what I'm talking about. So, what I want to do in this video, and what I'm going to do in all my key point videos, is I'm going to put the key point on the screen over me right here, and you can see that right now. So key point number one, spiritual maturity sufficient to lead a wife and children. So what does it mean to be able to have the spiritual maturity sufficient to lead a wife and children? I think that that's a viable part of acknowledging when a boy becomes a man. Let's read what the article says here. The Bible is clear about a man's responsibility to exercise spiritual maturity and spiritual leadership. Of course, this spiritual maturity takes time to develop, and it is a gift of the Holy Spirit working within the life of the believer. The disciplines of the Christian life include prayer and serious Bible study are among the means God uses to mold a boy into a man and to bring spiritual maturity into the life of one who is charged to lead a wife and family. This spiritual leadership is centered to be the Christian vision of marriage and family life. A man's spiritual leadership is not a matter of dictatorial power, but a firm and credible spiritual leadership and influence. And then it goes on to say here, a man must be ready to lead his wife and his children in a way that will honor God, demonstrate godliness, instill Christian character, and lead his family to desire Christ and to seek God's glory. Spiritual maturity is a mark of true Christian manhood, and a spiritually immature man is, in at least this critical sense, spiritually just a boy. Is it possible to be spiritually immature into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? I believe so. Why do I believe that? Because spiritual maturity, as it says here, it's about the disciplines of the Christian life, including prayer and serious Bible study, are among the means God uses to mold a boy into a man and to bring spiritual maturity into the life of one who is charged to lead a wife and family. This spiritual leadership is centered to be the Christian vision of marriage and family life. A man's spiritual leadership is not a mark of dictatorial power. So, what is dictatorial power? Dictatorial power means that you're in control or you're in charge of your family. That is not what spiritual maturity is all about here, okay? But a firm and credible spiritual leadership and influence. So when I think of spiritual leadership, I have to think about servant leadership, as you can see right here. This is a spiritual essence of being a spiritual leader in a home. What's the one key point that we need to understand about being spiritual leaders in our home? We need to lead with a servant's heart. So when I become a spiritual leader, what I want to do is I want to lead my wife and children to the heart of God from the heart of Jesus Christ. Let me say it again. In order for me to be a spiritual leader, to be spiritually mature, I want to lead my wife and children to the heart of God from the heart of Jesus. So, how do we do that? How do we do that? How do we walk out of boyhood into manhood? I believe that when we look at life lessons of being a spiritual leader in the home, we can learn to understand what that is. We're going to learn 9 different life lessons as we'll talk about in this book, I think it might be a pretty cool thing. This book has an awful lot of information that we're going to be studying probably in this playlist, or I'll make another playlist that talks about the characteristic traits of a servant leader in a home. Men, if you are spiritually mature and you're not leading your family from a servant's heart, I hope and encourage you to find out what it means to lead from a servant's heart. A servant's heart is not controlling, it's not bossy, it's not rude, it's not haughty. Just like love. Love is patient, love is kind. So when I leave from a servant heart, first of all, I'm going to be patient and kind. What does that mean? Being patient and kind is parts of the fruits of the Spirit. So, my friends, don't forget to check out what Heart Refinement for Teens is. Here's an image of the that channel. So go check that channel out. And then here's also another image of what Heart to Heart Refinement School is about. And just Google that in YouTube and you'll find the school. I urge you to go down to the first playlist and start at the beginning of each one of those. It'll help. Heart to Heart Refinement for Teens helps you to understand what the Heart to Heart Refinement for School is about, because in the teen school, I link the actual school courses in these videos over here. So it all works together. In the meantime, my friends, don't forget to check out my Bible study that I just completed on the book of Romans. You'll see that right here. So we'll be going next Wednesday. We'll be starting into reading the book of Matthew. Remember, it said in this article that I read that to become spiritually mature, it's about prayer and serious Bible study. So if you want to be a spiritual man, you've got to be serious about studying the Bible. Check out my playlist on the book of Romans. Like I said, we're going to get started on the book of Matthew. I'm going to go all the way through the New Testament and doing my studies in the New Testament. I think that's a highly critical point. My friends, until next week's key point number 2. Yeah, key point number 2. There's 13 of these, and it's going to take me 13 weeks to cover it. 12 now. So, my friends, may God bless you. May his face shine upon you, and may Jesus always bring you joy. I'll see you soon.